Picture this, a crisp September morning in 1950s America, the air tinged with the scent of freshly cut grass and the promise of a new school year. There's something magical about that back-to-school season, a feeling that lingers in the heart like a half-forgotten song. No smartphones, no laptops, no buzzing notifications, just the clear, joyful ring of a school bell echoing across a small town, calling kids to adventure. Children in neatly pressed clothes, clutching leather satchels and shiny tin lunchboxes, chatter excitedly as they walk down tree-lined streets, their footsteps crunching on gravel paths. After the hardships of the war, America was blooming with hope, and the classroom was its heartbeat. A place where dreams were nurtured, where the future felt wide open and full of possibility. Step inside a 1950s classroom, and you're stepping into a world of its own, a sanctuary of learning and order. The room smells faintly of chalk dust and polished wood. Rows of sturdy wooden desks sit in perfect alignment, each one etched with the faint scratches of countless young hands. Each one etched with the faint scratches of countless young hands. A blackboard stretches across the front, its surface a canvas for lessons, scratched out in white chalk. On the wall a colorful world map unfurls. On the wall, a colorful world map unfurls, its edges curling slightly from years of use, while an American flag stands proudly beside the teacher's desk, its stars gleaming under the soft glow of fluorescent lights. The teacher, often a woman in a long skirt and cat-eye glasses, greets her students with a warm smile, her presence commending yet kind. Every morning begins the same way, a hushed prayer, a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, recited in unison with hands over hearts. The room wrapped in a reverent silence. Respect was more than a rule. It was the foundation of everything, woven into the way students stood when the teacher entered, the way they listened, woven into the way students stood when the teacher entered, the way they listened, the way they carried themselves. Education in the 1950s was about more than memorizing facts. It was about building character. The classroom was a place of structure, where discipline was as much a lesson as arithmetic. In some states, boys and girls studied in separate rooms, each group dressed in crisp uniforms, pleated skirts and cardigans for the girls, pressed shirts and slacks for the boys. The curriculum was rigorous but straightforward. Reading, writing, math, and history, all taught with an emphasis on effort and integrity. Teachers wielded wooden rulers, not just to measure but to gently, and integrity. Teachers wielded wooden rulers, not just to measure but to gently correct. A tap on the desk, a reminder to focus. On the bulletin board, a Student of the Week chart sparkled with gold stars, awarded not only for perfect scores but for acts of kindness, for perseverance, for showing up with a willing heart. Children were taught that hard work and manners mattered more than fleeting grades. They learned to be responsible to their families, their communities, their country. Faith, whether in God or in the promise of America, was a quiet undercurrent, guiding them toward lives of purpose and decency. Life as a 1950s school kid was gloriously uncomplicated. Recess was the highlight of the day, a burst of freedom under a wide blue sky. Boys crouched in the freedom under a wide blue sky. Boys crouched in the dirt, flicking marbles with practiced aim, while girls twirled jump ropes, their laughter ringing out like music. The playground was a symphony of shouts and giggles, of scraped knees and triumphant races. At lunchtime, kids gathered in the cafeteria or under shady trees, clicking open their tin lunchboxes to reveal treasures, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a crisp red apple, maybe a homemade oatmeal cookie wrapped in wax paper. That single cookie, crumbling perfectly in your mouth, could make an ordinary day feel like a celebration. There were no screens to steal attention, no earbuds to block out the world. Kids looked at each other, really looked, and shared stories, traded baseball cards, or whispered secrets that cemented lifelong friendships. Every moment, from passing notes in class to racing home on bicycles, was a small shining piece of childhood. Not every lesson was written in chalk or bound in a textbook. The 1950s classroom was a place where life's deeper truths took root. A teacher's patient guidance as she helped, a struggling student form perfect cursive letters wasn't just about handwriting. It was about care, about believing in someone's potential. Group projects, where kids huddled over construction paper and glue, taught teamwork and the quiet joy of creating something together. A classmate's offer to share a pencil or explain a math problem wasn't just a small gesture. It was a seed of kindness that grew into lifelong values. Those notebooks, filled with carefully penned answers and the occasional doodle, were more than assignments. They were keepsakes of a time when effort mattered, when a teacher's red ink, "well done," felt like a medal of honor. The classroom didn't just teach kids how to read or solve equations. It taught them how to be patient, how to listen, how to be a friend. Today, classrooms hum with the glow of screens and the promise of new technologies, each innovation pushing us forward. But close your eyes, and you can still see it: the rows of wooden desks, the soft squeak of chalk, the golden sunlight spilling through tall windows. You can hear the distant clang of the school bell, calling kids back from recess, and feel the weight of a leather satchel slung over your shoulder. Those 1950s classrooms, with their simplicity and sincerity, shaped generations. With their simplicity and sincerity, shaped generations in ways that linger still. Looking back isn't about wishing for the past. It's about honoring the beauty of where we started, the quiet lessons that built us, and the innocence that reminds us who we are. So, tell me, what's your favorite school memory? Share it below, and let's keep those days alive just a little longer.